Hi, Bob. You have a question? You're muted right now.
Can you repeat that?
Let me unmute Bob. He's muted. Let's see here.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can.
All right, we're good.
Did you have a question?
No, I just wanted to be unmuted, and I think Nasser does too.
All right, I'm here.
Okay, I hear you. I'm not seeing Caston. I don't see John. I know Nathan's going to be late to the meeting. So it's looking, Bob, like we may not have a quorum.
I'm sure they'll join momentarily.
Okay, we'll give them a few minutes. In the meantime, for those that are on the meeting right now, especially for those that are new, what we usually do is we conduct business per Robert's rules, which means we're going to conduct board business. And at the very end, each person can have up to 3 minutes to ask questions, comments at the end of our business, the conclusion of the meeting. So at the very end, we'll take questions, etc.
John's on now, Kurt.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you. Okay, we're going to give it 1 more minute and then we'll start the meeting.
Recording in progress.
Okay, we're gonna get this meeting going. All right, I'd like to call to order the meeting for December 16th, 2024. First order of business is to establish a quorum. Let's see, we've got John Oliar, Bob, Nazar, and myself. Okay, the meeting is for members only, so I'm gonna ask each person to identify their dock and slip. I've got, is it Ajaz? You should be able to
Hi,
unmute your. There you
Hi.
go, Ajaz.
Yeah, dark 16, slip 18.
Thank you.
Hello,
Yes, ma'am. Who am I speaking with?
Deborah Williams,
Thank you.
dot 12, slip 15. Yes,
Got it.
and my
Thank you.
husband, Jess Williams, is present with me.
Jess was president of the condos, wasn't he?
Correct.
I know. Jess, tell him I said hi.
He's sitting right here. He can hear you.
Kurt,
Yeah, Jess, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
I see a David Everett.
Yes, 21-6.
21-6. Thank you. That is it Evett?
Yes.
Okay. Earl Ryan.
Yeah, that's me. I'm dock 20, slip 5.
Thank you, sir. Jack McGuff.
1843.
Say again.
1843. Jack McGough, 1843.
Heather Erickson.
17-8.
Thank you. I've got a phone number here. No, never mind. I got the person. Okay. Roll call's been taken. I'm going to go ahead and go through the agenda. Okay. We are at item number 3, approve the meeting of the minutes from the previous month's board meeting. Ms. Caston is not present, so
Kurt,
yes.
I have a text message from Miss Caston that she is trying to sign on. I don't know if you're seeing anything on your end, but she says she's trying. I don't know.
Yeah, it was not. Let me go back to my screen and take a look.
She says new phone and tells me host will let me in. That's what she says.
Yeah. Yeah, I just caught her, so she should be in now.
Okay, great. And also,
Stacy, go ahead.
Okay, yes, sir.
I
Thank
was
you.
gonna say, before we get into the formal agenda, I just wanted to say that a big round of applause and appreciation for Mr. Peltier for finishing his chain project. That was a lot of effort, and just want to say I think we all appreciate
You just beat me to the punch, but absolutely.
it. Sorry.
That's okay. Now, let me unmute Dennis real quick. Yes, Dennis spent a lot of his time out there working on these chains and locks and trespass signs. So he did this all on his own time, and it's much appreciated. And you know, if we would have paid somebody to do it, who knows what that would have cost. So hats off to Mr. Pelletier. We really appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome, and thank you for the acknowledgement.
Where's the statue going to be?
My wife wants to know where the statue's gonna be.
Might be able to get you a small plaque.
So on that note, I also want to thank Dave Martin for stepping up. Dave read the meters, and actually Dave found us a contractor to get those trailer lights fixed out there, and it was a really good deal. So we couldn't pass it up. And Dave, I unmuted you. Thank you very much for finding the contractor to fix those trailer lights. I know it was bothering you. So you found a great contractor.
Yep.
Thanks,
No
Dave.
problem. Yeah, it was just really
Thank you.
dark down there. It was really dark, so thought it was time.
Well, it was
Good job,
good
Dave.
timing. The trailer lots are going to be used more often, so we really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. No problem.
To give everybody an idea, we were looking at $10,000 to $15,000, and Dave figured out how to get it done for $800.
Okay, item number 3, approve the meeting of the minutes from the previous month's board meeting. Mrs. Caston, do you have the minutes?
No, I do not. I had computer issues, so I think Stacy was going to try and type them up, and I haven't talked to her.
Okay, just double checking. Then let's try and get those in for at least next month's meeting, and then
Okay.
get those caught up, but appreciate it.
Yeah, she said she was going to try and get them done, and I haven't had a chance to talk to her.
Okay, if you need help with your computer, I can
will.
I can help you with that.
Gotcha.
All right, item 4, President's Report. We just went over, Dennis finished up the chains and the trespass signs. For those of you who don't know, we didn't charge for that, and he, of course, did the labor for free. Much appreciated. There was a repair of a transformer stand on dock 20 and 21. This transformer was sitting on top of some 2x4s that were put together, and it was starting to sag and was ready to fall apart. So that got repaired. We had recently a water main break between 16-7 and 12 and 13 on the boardwalk. That was reported. Contractor came out that afternoon, and he left the water on until he actually came out. I think water was down for about 3 to 4 hours. They had to let the glue dry for like 2 hours. By the time I tried to get the word on it, it wouldn't have made a difference. But I think most people got through it if they had water on their boats that were living on their boats. But it's nice to know we've got a plumber that gets out there at least within the day to get these major repairs done for us. The other thing we're going to report, I don't know if people noticed, we've got some, we're going to have a new mailbox station installed, very similar to the townhomes. The condominiums are working on getting a quote to get that completed. Once that's completed, then we no longer have to go into their garage to check mail. For those of you who have mailboxes, I believe mainly on the liveaboard side. That's the only thing I really have for item 4. I'm now gonna go to Nathan's email. He's the treasurer. And he sent an email. He said he was gonna be late to this meeting. And if he didn't show up on time, then he asked me to read his email. I'm gonna change screens and read his email. Okay. Treasurer's report, our bookkeeper, Bay Area Business Services continues to administer monthly dues, receiving various payments and assist with communications. In the October and November meetings, the board announced in our monthly meeting, we found a problem in the financial statements and requested our bookkeepers to fix it. Our bookkeepers reported on December 12th that they are still working on the issue. As soon as the corrections are done, will be published. Year-to-date and current month income statements and balance sheet each month. The board continues to manage the association debt-free. Since the financial statements are being corrected, I will report our current checking and savings balances. Checking balance is $27,157.62. Savings is at $64,411.91 and making interest. The board is currently defending the interest of the association members in lawsuits. Some of the lawsuits have been covered by insurance. For lawsuits not covered by insurance, the board is being paid cash and expects a large portion of legal fees to be reimbursed through the collection process. The board also has negotiated with some of the legal providers to lower their fees. For December 2024, assuming a 99% collection rate, the association income will be at $14,600. For calendar year 2025, with the same 99% collection rate and the increased maintenance dues next year, the total yearly income is expected to be $179,700. And that concludes the treasurer's report. Going on to the next item, unfinished business. We do have a budget completed. Thank you to Bob for putting that together. It's a basic budget. And with more information, we're going to be updating the budget. One of the items that Bay Area Business Services is working on is to get our QuickBooks migrated up to the cloud. I believe that's part of the delay for these financials. The good thing about this is the board will have access to the financials and will be able to run some reports. So that's going to be extremely helpful once they get that transition completed. 6B, piers and docks on 11 and 18B. I know Dennis was going to work on getting quotes for that. Let me go back to my screen and see if Dennis has any updates on that. I'm going to unmute you, Dennis.
Yeah, I haven't really started on that, but now that I've completed the signs and installation of the chains, I'll be getting started on that probably not until the early January.
Sounds good. I know it's the holiday season, so everybody's been, busy with holidays and family and all that, but we appreciate you doing that research.
No problem.
Okay, item 6C, infraction by owners and their tenants. I believe that Nazar was going to work on two of the rules and take some pictures. Nazar, do you have any status on the pictures and the next two rules that we're going to enforce?
Yeah, I'll be out there this week and I'll be doing all that and I'll be uploading it to y'all so y'all can see the status of all the slips.
Okay, and I'm trying to remember, was that build downs was one of them?
Yeah, it's gonna be the build downs and well, I'm taking pictures of every slip and the condition they're in, and including the build downs. And so that way, any discrepancies will be flagged for board's determination as far as the finding process, if any.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, item 6D, gate status. As people on the liveaboard side know, we've sent out a gate policy that's in progress. For now, we're going to put out one card. The gate is not going to be activated till around January 5th. The board is still discussing policy tweaks, and we'll probably give out 2 cards for those people that are married that live down the liveaboard side and have a need. The other aspect of this is we're considering people that own more than one slip. As long as they're leasing out that slip to a tenant, they'll most likely get a card for that tenant. Item 6E, the 20-year agreement. At this time, the board was not able to come to an agreement. The condos had a 20-year contract with us. It was extended for 2 years. It did expire. I'm going to turn this over to Bob in case he's got any comments on that.
The condos terminated the agreement. So unless we were able to come to an agreement, it expired there in early December. So we plan to still have talks with the condos going forward, and see if we can still come to some agreement.
All right, thank you, Bob. Item 6F, security camera, order rejected. Okay, so apparently there was a discontinued set of security cameras that were put on order. I went ahead and put in a new order for a couple more security cameras, and they should arrive sometime after the holiday season. Item 6G, fire valves. Spoke with the plumber on these fire valves that were leaking, and apparently he concluded the fire valves were fine, that he feels like most of them just had some kind of debris in there. But he went out and checked all the fire valves and said that he couldn't find any that were leaking. So he decided just to keep monitoring. So at this time, there are no repairs, and hopefully that'll save us some money. Item 6H, electrical repairs, trailer lights. Dave Martin, like I said, he found a contractor for a great price. So those were also completed and repaired. Item 6I, piers and bolts. We've got one quote in, and I believe we're looking for a couple more quotes to move forward on those repairs. I believe there were 15 finger piers that were inventoried. It looks like in the past that whoever built them or repaired them didn't put complete bolts on those. So what we kind of notice is when there's a hurricane or the finger piers get covered by water, the moisture causes those ones with screws to kind of wobble, which could cause the finger piers to come loose. So we're getting quotes to make sure that those have the 2 extra bolts on there to see if that will solve that problem. And so right now we're just waiting for more quotes. The other thing I just wanted to note that we purchased a device that measures wood pilings. The device is going to let us know the condition of the pilings. As some people know, a lot of these pilings are wobbling. They were installed in 1979. So we're gonna put together a spreadsheet and inventory every piling out there to kind of give us a picture of the condition of each piling, which ones are in the worst shape, and then we can make some decisions going forward. It's going to cost a lot of money and it's going to take time, so we're probably going to have to look at the budget and do some calculations to start getting some of these pilings replaced. We have one piling that basically split, so before we can complete the finger pier, that's going to have to be replaced. It's going to be a little involved. When I contacted two piling repair companies. One of them said they were backed up for 6 months due to Hurricane Beryl, but I was able to locate one contractor who said he could probably get to the repairs within a month. So at this point, we're just needing to get some inventories done. The more pilings we get repaired, the cheaper the price will be. So we're going to continue that process until we got enough of these pilings that have been inventoried.
Hey,
Okay.
Craig,
Yes.
I noticed that there was a piling repair company. I was headed south on 146 just before the boatyard on the right, before the big bridge or the bridge on 146 on the way to Texas City. On the left, it's got a big blue sign out there. It looked like a pretty substantial place. I regularly go down that way to go to one of my apartment complexes, and the next time I'll stop in there and have a conversation with them, unless you've already talked to them. Have you talked to them?
I don't know the name of the company.
I can't recall
Um,
either, but if you don't,
Yeah.
if you haven't talked to, if you don't recall that place, then I'll stop in there and talk to them.
Yeah, the place that I found was actually a barge that was going underneath the Heber Bay Bridge. So I called the number on that barge, and I've got their business card number. But if you can give me the information for them, if it's a different place, then hopefully it's a third quote.
Yeah, I'll stop in and kind of pre-screen them. They look pretty substantial. They're a pretty big outfit, so I'll stop in and talk to them.
Yeah, okay, appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
Item 7A, DCCR review. I'm gonna let Bob kind of speak on this one to give the details on it.
Well, the DCCRs are old, and there are some, I don't want to say issues, but that some of the terminology needs to be interpreted for us so that we know exactly what it means. And maybe long-term, there's the possibility of trying to come up with more succinct and direct DCCRs.
Okay, I guess we'll look into getting a quote to have that done.
Correct.
Is it possible? Yeah, I mean, if we can get more attorneys to look at it and give us I have a feeling this is not going to be cheap to do. So, you know, we'll look into it, I guess, and hopefully get a decent quote.
Yeah, the resolution of some of the terminology that's less than accurate, that may not be very expensive, but certainly redoing them would be expensive.
Okay, I guess we'll look at our options and go from there. Hopefully we can find an affordable solution on that one.
Correct.
Let's see, item 7B. I'm not sure who brought this one up. Infractions to be enforced. I know that we're looking at taking pictures for the bill downs. Does anybody on the board remember what the other one was? I thought maybe it was cleaning the boats, clean boats.
Yeah, it was appearance of the boats.
Okay. So what we're doing is we're systematically going through all the rules and reviewing which ones are the highest priority and reviewing them, seeing if there's any updates that need to be made. But if not, we're going to go ahead and send out 30-day notices for those rule violations. And as long as the infraction is resolved in 30 days, then there shouldn't be any kind of fine. So if you have a bill down, you may want to take a look at it and look out for a letter. Same thing with the boats. There's a lot of boats out there that look like they haven't been touched in years. I know some of the obvious conditions or marks that would indicate you need to clean your boat would be obviously any kind of growth on the boat, on the surface, any kind of green mold or mildew. So again, everybody's going to get a 30-day notice. You've got plenty of time to resolve the infraction, and then per procedures, if you don't agree with the infraction, you can always appeal it to the board.
That doesn't mean repainting them. That just means the dirty, right?
I believe it's appearance, which would include cleaning them.
No, would that include painting them too?
Well, as long as they paint them within the rules. I mean, if you paint a boat, if you do a good job, you're gonna clean it first, and then if obviously, you
Right,
know, it'll look a lot better. So, yeah, if you paint it, I mean, that's gonna make it look a lot better.
right.
Items, say again?
You wouldn't be required to paint them if it just needs washing, right?
Correct. Item 7C, meter readings again. This last month, Dave Martin took care of that. He volunteered. I know we had a couple other volunteers, so we're always looking for volunteers to read the meters. You basically take pictures of the meters and then input the data into an Excel spreadsheet. So if you're interested, just contact the board. Much appreciated because people obviously don't really usually volunteer for anything for the marina. So anytime someone does, it's much appreciated. Otherwise, we're still looking for a contractor to read the meters, and it just saves us money if someone can go out and volunteer to do that particular job. Takes probably 2-3 hours to walk around, take the pictures, and if you got nothing better to do, it's kind of nice to do it once in a while. Doesn't really hurt. So again, if you want to volunteer, just let us know. That's the only thing I see on the agenda here for tonight's meeting. So I'm going to make a motion to go ahead and turn the official business part of the meeting for December.
Second.
Have a third or fourth?
Third, second, third, fourth.
Okay. Mrs. Caston, you noted the time?
Yes, sir. Gotcha.
Okay, that concludes the business portion of the meeting. I'm gonna go ahead and 3 minutes per question. As long as people are respectful, then we'll take your questions. Let me take a look of. You happen to be unmuted, so we'll go ahead and take your question first.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, ma'am. I just see your phone number. I don't see your name on your ID, but I think you gave me your name earlier.
Yes, it's Deborah Williams.
Go ahead.
So I own a condo and a slip, and now that the condo association is taking on the expenses that were shared by the marina, of course, our expenses on the condos are going up another $70 per month. And so it reminds me that since the expenses for the marina are going down and they're going up over on the condos, shouldn't I expect to see my HOA dues for the marina to go down?
Yeah, we've had that question from a few people. Right now, it's still in negotiation, so you know, we're looking into it. Both sides, I think, are doing some research on the electrical costs. We found a lot of the electrical and stuff seems to kind of be intermingled. I don't have the history on this, but I was told that apparently there were some items that were overcharged on our side with the electrical and vice versa, and that it kind of came out evenly. But until we have that hard data to know exactly what the expenses are, you know, once we know something and we come to an agreement, we'll go from there. But at this time, it's too early to say at this point.
Well, and of course, being an owner of both, I have, feelings on both sides of the issue, because on one, it's, I think, as a slip owner, I feel like we've lost a lot with the loss of the amenities. I feel like as a real estate broker of 20 years that my value of my slip just dramatically decreased. There's not even a restroom, right? So that's concerning. And yet, as a condo owner, we were hearing so many complaints of issues that were coming from the marina. And I was present when they took a poll, and almost every single condo owner present said no more with the marina. But what is it going to take to, or what is any different that can make this resolved between the marina and the condos? What has changed as far as, the condition of the marina, the crime, the drug dealing, the lack of inspection of vessels, the towing in of vessels? What is any different that where we can make the argument that, hey, things are better over here?
Well, ma'am, this is John Bollier, and I can tell you that it is almost a daily effort by the board to address the safety issues. One of the big ones, of course, is the gate. We realized that the codes on the gates were almost meaningless. Within days of us changing the codes, every near well out there had the new codes. So they're meaningless because people share them. We had lots of squatters, so we put the new gate in, and it's going to be activated fairly soon. Of course, we have people that want to be very vocal against it because for whatever reason, they're very disgruntled people and they don't want to, anything that we do seems to be something that they want to try to oppose for whatever reason. But we are doing that. We worked very hard to get a lot of squatters out, including, Kurt and I and several of the board members have literally gone to the police very often, down to the police station, notifying them of what's going on, working with them, trying to get these squatters out, working hand in hand with them, going to court, having them evicted multiple times, calling the police ourselves when they show up on the docks, and it's kind of like a whack-a-mole kind of things. But one of the things that we did, thanks to Mr. Peltier, was to put in the chains to stop them from coming in. We also asked any resident that would ask us to first we started off by asking tenant slip owners to ask us to turn off the electrical, and now we've just taken it upon ourselves to turn off the electrical in any slip that's not occupied, and ask the slip owner to ask us to turn it back on when they want to use it, because what they do is squatters come in, they find the electrical turned on, and they just put their boat there. As far as the inspections, we literally have slip owners that just refuse to abide by the rules, and then we have to go through a very difficult legal process to get them to abide by the rules. And we have made extensive efforts to update and record the rules with the county, and then vote on those new rules, get them in place. So when a lot of these people that don't really know what's going on, there is extensive efforts by the board to try to address all of these issues, and unfortunately they take time. And we have worked hand in hand with the condos HOA. They've been very helpful. They've allowed us to put cameras in. We've put extensive cameras in. All of the whole marina is basically covered by cameras, and to try to deter all of these problems. We've been working hand in hand with them. It's a very lengthy process. We were able to get out of the marina some of the most troublesome people. We got out. I don't want to name anyone in this meeting personally, but we've gotten out about 3 of the very worst offenders through very long efforts. And it's just it's kind of like turning the tide or turning a ship. But we have been working very hard to do it. And I understand the condo owners' frustrations and why they, sent us a notice of cancellation for the contract. And we certainly respected that. We tried to work through it a little bit with them, and it seemed like it wasn't going to work out. So we agreed that we would cancel the contract, and we asked them to give us another 4 to 6 months to try to figure out what else we could do to bring things to a point where maybe we could renegotiate and come back at it and make things better and work it out. And so that's kind of where we are.
Well, I know my time is up, but I will just ask you one follow-up question to that, and I appreciate your response. As far as in the condos and in other places as well, wherever you may find vehicles parked. At the condos, we had to put up signs at different locations so that if a vehicle was parked there illegally, we did not have to do something like an eviction. It just simply, here's the warning, and this is where you'll find your car, when you come looking for it. And so could we not implement a policy that if there was something that doesn't belong, we tow it? We have a arranged agreement with a place that would allow storage for the boats, just like where you tow a car. Can we not arrange something like that?
Deborah, just so you know, this is probably the first meeting I think I've seen you come to, but it's already been discussed and that has been resolved.
I have tried to get on before.
Yeah.
And I'm
so to catch you, so to catch you up real quick, because your time has kind of gone over just real fast.
Yeah.
We towed a bunch of boats out several weeks ago. We made a contract with the towing company. We have towed out many cars and are still towing those cars out, and we now have a committee. So those things have already been done, just to update you on that. As far as boat inspections, every person who's asked for boat inspection, I have inspected their boat. But if people bring boats in and don't allow us to inspect them, that's a whole different ballgame. But the things that you're saying have already been done.
So you're not allowed to just tow them if they're not in compliance.
Say again?
If they're not in compliance, meaning adhering to your policy of getting inspection, if they're not in compliance, you are not able to tow them.
As far as the parking lot, yes. As far as the boats, it's a whole different story. You have to contact it's like a neighborhood, we're an HOA basically. If someone pulls their boat in and the only thing we can do is fine them. If they don't want to pull their boats out, then we have to go to legal means. We don't have the legal authority to do anything because the slip is owned by a slip owner. That slip owner has to take action, and we've put that out to meetings many times.
Okay. Well, in my case, we weren't allowed to bring the vessel in until it was inspected. So I never got to that point.
Right.
So
but if you're understand, but if they bring it in, exactly. If they do not comply, they just bring the boats in and park them, then there's a different set of rules that are involved at that point. Different laws change. It's not that simple.
Okay. Well, I will ask about that further, maybe via email.
Okay. I've got to go to the next question. We're running out of time, so thank you.
Thank
you. Geez. Yeah, I know you've been waiting, and then Heather's after that.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Curtis Ajaz. The question I have is on the chains. You mentioned there was lock on it. How do we get access so we can unlock it when we bring everybody?
Yeah, we've put the information out. Just get with me, depending on where you're at. We can mail you the key, or you can meet with me and I'll hand you a key. Hello? I think you're muted again.
Yeah, I'll get in touch with you via email.
Say again?
Thank you. I'll get in
Yeah,
touch
you're
with you
welcome.
via email.
Yeah, just contact me and we'll make arrangements, no problem.
Thank you.
Sure. Heather? You're
Hi.
muted, go ahead and, there you go.
Okay, thank you. So I'm in 17-8 and the renter that I've had there has been there for several years now. And when the new situation came up regarding the marina and the contract, I forwarded him the email and he asked, will parking be available outside the gate in regular parking area, and can he get a parking sticker? Is that possible for him to do?
Absolutely. Just call the Marina phone and then Stacy Caston will assign a parking tag and put it in our spreadsheet.
Okay, all right, excellent. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, that concludes the meeting. I don't see any other hands up, so we're going to go ahead and conclude this meeting, and the board's going to go ahead and continue an executive session. So I'm going to make a motion to officially close the question and answer session.
I second it. I beat you, Bob.
Yes, you did. We need an all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Take care, guys. Thanks everyone for attending.